So I've started to work on a new project, which is a project that I'm calling Neutron Star, which is like a realistic startup application using Firebase. And I'm starting off with SolidJS. So this is pretty much beyond what you'd get like in the real world application. This is going to be giving you user registration, but then also unit tests, emails sent out, those kind of things that you normally have to figure out how to do. So I'm pretty much doing this in the same way that I would do as in a production or with a client, with also staging and production and emulation of Firebase. So pretty much what we have here is just a SolidJS app within the front end, which is a default install of SolidJS. And then I've got a Firebase init project, which is the default Firebase init project you normally get. The one thing that is different that just from just like normal default settings is that if you go to the Firebase RC, actually it's the Firebase JSON, the actual hosting is in the front end dist folder, which is what the output of SolidJS does when you do a build. And so also when you run the build or Firebase Deploy within the root folder of Firebase, you will see that there's a few things that actually deploy staging will basically go into the Neutron Star folder, use the Neutron Star Firebase project, and it will then cd into front end folder, run npm build staging, and then it will just go back into the root directory and do Firebase Deploy. And that's how we sort of separate the front end from the rest of the Firebase files. Okay, so if you want to just basically go through some of these steps again, I did this on a previous app called Firebase Full Stack Starter in my other YouTube channel, but I've learnt quite a few things. I've already deployed a couple of production things in Firebase since then, and so this is basically an improved version of that. The source code will be private, but I will offer people able to purchase the source code or access to it at some point. Just getting that out the road. Okay, thanks so much. Enjoy the stream, which I did on Twitch. By the way, you can also follow me on Twitch. I've got a Twitch account and I'm doing the streaming on there as well, and obviously upload the highlights into YouTube. So that's how it's going. Right, so what we're also going to do is we're going to create a Firebase project for this as well. Let's just get this done. Enable analytics. Well, okay then. Nikos data, got Firebase. Let's have some music in the background if you guys want. What do you think? Good, woohoo! The video is fine. We're on the way there. Man, it's hard to read the chat window, isn't it, when it's on the stream like that. So, Ornib, have you used Firebase before? Okay, start in test mode. I'm in Europe, so multi-region Europe's fine. Man, I can't believe how fast the stream is looking, the 30 frames per second now. Superbase, okay, Superbase. I've heard of Superbase. I've looked at Superbase, but I decided not to use it just because I just felt it didn't give me that much more for the money or something for Firebase. And plus I know how to use Firebase, so that's why. Alright, so we have a Firestore, and we need to basically install the CLI for Firebase. So it's quite a big install because there's a lot. So just going to check I've got Firebase installed here. Can you read that font okay? Do you want it larger? You can make it larger if you want. So we want to, which Firebase features do you want to set for those directory based space? So we want quite a lot of things. We want emulators, we want real-time database, Firestore functions, hosting, yes, GitHub Actions, okay,
I'll make it a bit larger. Do we want? I don't know what remote config is. Do we want storage? Cloud storage? Yes, because we want to upload pictures. Something to make the font size a bit bigger. How's that? Okay, use an existing project, set a new project, Firebase Google Cloud, don't set up a default project, use existing project, Neutron Star, it seems like I haven't initialized real-time data project yet. Do you want to set up? Yes. Europe. Which files should be used for real-time database security rules? That's fine. Firebase security rules already defined. Do you want to use Firebase rules? Yes, I do. Which files should be used for Firebase 26? That's fine. Functions directory will be created in your project with samples pre-configured. Okay, that's fine. TypeScript, of course. Do you want to use ESLint to catch probable bugs in the force style? Oh, I don't know, that ESLint annoys me sometimes. We're using TypeScript, so we're going to catch a lot of stuff anyway. So I'm just going to turn that off because it really just gets on my nerves. Do you want to install dependencies with npm now? Why not? Public directory, what do we choose as your public directory? So that's basically, that's the build, isn't it? So public directory is going to be front end. We're going to make a front end folder, and it's going to go into dist, I think, for SolidJS. Is that correct? There's a dist folder for the default SolidJS build. We'll rewrite all URLs to index HTML. Yes. Set up automatic builds and deploys of GitHub. Yes. Create workflow. Blah 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 blah. Set automatic font to site's live channel when it appears merged. I guess so. That's good. What is the name of the GitHub branch associated with your site's live channel? Continue. Storage is okay. Which file base emulators do you want to set up? Best space select emulators, enter to confirm. So we want pretty much authentication is a new thing. They used to not have the authentication emulator, but I was on the beta tester about like 2 years ago for that one. So which port do you want to use the auth emulator? What port do you want to use functions? When you use Firestore, database, hosting, PubSub, storage. Do you want to enable the emulator UI? Yes, of course we do. Do you want which port do you want to use for emulator? Okay. Do you like to demo editors now? Yes. So give myself a little bit more volume for my music. Testing. Oh, that's the audio you hear, I think. Yeah, that's what that is. Okay. Just let me know if the audio is too loud and I'll turn it back down again. Okay, so let's see what that did. So we it's going to be a bit hard for you to see, but can't really help that because that's the settings for the screen, unfortunately. So basically, when I add I get ignore when I add a couple of files for this one. So basically, I don't want to store any version files for like WebStorm. So normally I would just put in id .idea. That would get rid of some of those. So basically, I'm going to commit this initially. So can you turn the music up a bit? You can turn the music up a bit. You turn it down a lot. You can turn the music up a bit. You turn it down a lot. Turn the music up. Ah, okay. Okay, that should be okay. Minus 7 decibels. Alright, so initial commit. Let's just do semantic. Initial commit of Firebase in it. And cool, got some GitHub workflows, front end dist functions. So let me just check some of these files before we commit them, as usual. So this is the first time I've seen like GitHub workflows like this. So I wonder if I can increase the size of this font without it being annoying for me. Let me just check my font settings a little bit. I can't remember what is it editor? Change font size with. So Mona Lisa is what I use, brilliant font. Let's just make it, for the stream purposes, 18. So is that okay? Is that legible? Hopefully that's legible. So Firebase hosting merge YAML is deployed to Firebase. I don't really know what this stuff is. I guess, yeah, I need to look at that later on. So front end, we have basically this index file with a bunch of junk in here, which I don't care about. I'm just going to put in here really bad hello world. Don't want to confuse you guys already, you know. So storage rules is this, Firebase rules is that. So in previous Firebase projects, I've used real-time database. So like I understand what this is. This is like really bad. Firebase Firestore is a bit new to me, so that's what we'll kind of be using for this one. Firestore, but it's more flexible for querying. Ignores reasonable Firebase RC. Projects, then we have hosting configuration. So hosting goes to front end dist, and that's that. That's where the SolidJS app will go. Right, so let's just deploy this and see if it actually runs on the Firebase. So let's just go to the scripts here. So we don't actually have a package JSON yet. We have one here. So Firebase Deploy. So let's just go. Let's run Firebase Deploy. Woohoo! We did it. Right. So like normally I would include like CSS in a project like this, but because like not everybody uses Tailwind or Bootstrap or whatever, I'm just going to make it no CSS at all, so this project can be reused pretty much. Yeah. So instead of all the uploading for stuff, you know, blah blah, takes a while. Guides. Alright, so the project should be live here. Oh, come on, everybody. We should just... Mission 1 complete. Mission 1 complete. We have a functioning Firebase project. Now let's just improve it. So that it's now SolidJS, right? So basically, I was going to create this project here. So I'm going to create SolidJS, which is a pretty cool framework which I like a lot. I've used them all: React, Svelte, Vue. So we're using SolidJS because it's so fast and great. So no, don't call it my app. Let's just call it Neutron Star. Right. So normally when these projects do this stuff, I basically don't like the way that I basically move it up to the directory. So like I'm just going to delete. I'm going to delete that disk folder, and I'm going to basically copy this and move it up a directory. The cool thing about like Solid is that it uses Vite, which is like an operating system for like, I don't know, front-end frameworks or something. So this is just an initial commit. I'm just going to check it runs before we install it, before we commit the code. So I think it's npm install, which is using pnpm. I think it's just, what's the command? I can't remember the command. Npm start. I can't remember what the difference is between dev and start, but just go ahead. Vt comes with CSS modules, and you can put them in a. Vt comes with CSS modules, and you can put them in a starter. And if people want, they can just remove them. Okay. Okay. So we've got something running on some client project running in 301, but I won't bother going into the terminals. So there we have our SolidJS is now working. And so that's cool. So SolidJS is working. So we're going to commit that code. Let's go check some of the files for sanity here. This is there. No, the key. Blah 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 blah. All right. So I'm just going to commit this code. Okay. So it looks like I've got stuff in there that's. Did I forget to commit it for the? Oh, I forgot to commit it for the last one. Oh, it doesn't matter. Let's commit the whole lot. Initial commit of Firebase in it and SolidJS front end code. Analyze code. No. Commit and push. Yeah, Svelte comes with CSS modules. Pretty good. It's pretty good about it. It works pretty well. So basically, public directory front end does not exist. Can't deploy hosting to site Neutron Star because I need to change the build command. So because the build command is wrong for. Okay, so basically the way what we want to do is that when we deploy, we want to basically run the solid build script. So so I'm going to just go to. I've got like one I prepared earlier, so I'm going to just open that project. This is our basically no bare frills package JSON. Looks okay. Let's just commit that. More haste, less speed. And let's just get this like clever one that I've done before. Just make sure everything's sanity here. So we'll have some differences here. Right, so when you're working with like different stagings and production and emulation, you basically want to have like a whole bunch of like proper scripts. And I've kind of like stuck them all like that. So like I guess I don't really want to confuse you guys right now, so let me just think how I'm going to do this. The cool thing about Vite is that you can have like your environment variables all set up different files, so that's also important. So if you want to run your production, your solid app with Firebase settings for staging or production, you can use like a environment variable for that. But for the moment, I'm just going to do I'm going to undo this and basically create this deploy thing. So like that here. So deploy. So I was going to undo this. So we're in a deploy script, and basically because like I work with lots of different Firebase projects, I don't really want to have to like use a default Firebase project because it's pointless. So every command I use, like I specify the project explicitly, so there's just no confusion. Otherwise, you just do not keep track of things. So basically, is this even the right project? 2 seconds. That's so build should actually Sweetie build. Actually, this is old code. This is old nonsense code. So deploy. Okay, CD front end. Yeah, that's what we want to do. Something like that. So this project will be like the staging database, because like normally you'd have a staging Firebase project, and then you'd have like emulation basically emulates Firebase. So like it's a really like complicated system where you have all the sort of Firebase features that are available locally, so you can run like end-to-end tests, you know. So really, if you want to do this properly, we should actually create another project for this in Firebase for staging, because you'd never basically call Neutron Star. We'll change this so that it's then like called staging later on, right? So we'll just say that deploy staging is this, right? So it's Neutron Star. I don't even know if it's like case sensitive. And so basically we tell Firebase to use Neutron Star project, because you can have a whole bunch of Firebase projects in your system. And then the how do I get sound effects when people write a message? It's like hard to. Sometimes I miss the messages when they're coming up. Let me just turn on my phone so I see the chat messages better. I'm not a pro streamer. I haven't got a camera running yet. So what we do is we CD into the front end, because you want to basically separate the front end project from all the Firebase stuff, because otherwise it's just going to confuse you, like, because you don't want to have all this folder structure and mixed in with all this Firebase folder structure. So basically when we do the deploy, we basically want to go into Neutron Star, use Firebase Neutron Star, CD into the front end folder, and just run the build staging, and then you want to go back into the root directory and deploy it from Firebase, right? So I just want to create this build staging script within the front end folder. So there's a package JSON here. So right, so in here we have like stuff for like Tailwind, which I'm not going to bother using in this project, because like I have my way of laying out things in CSS, and it's very unlikely that people that use this project will want to use it the exact same way. So potentially later on I could add Tailwind, sanity for the project, but at the moment it's just not in scope. Okay, so this is the default SolidJS script here, and in this one basically I want to be run Vite in a certain mode, because like we want to have environment files with have the Firebase like configurations. So basically like normally in development I'd use staging or even emulation. So that's why Vite can basically if you do like in Vite you can have like a environment available like staging, so all this stuff here, and then you can have like a normal environment file that's production. So you can specify this mode, and that basically helps you to run the correct settings when you're running the project. Pretty neat. I just love Vite. It's brilliant. Then inside of your code you can access those settings. Okay, so let me just check that this is correct. So Vite build mode staging. That's fine. Dev build. So you can build the settings with the correct stage settings as well. I'm not going to bother with this like Tailwind stuff, like alt prefix or post CSS Tailwind. I don't need that. But we want to install Firebase. Now Firebase version 9 is different from like version 8. It's completely different, because basically version 8 is a real pig the way you import things. They weren't like made with CSS modules. But with the later versions of the Firebase like 9, they have like proper ES6 imports, so you don't have to do like import Firebase as default, and then you inside the code do like .default everything. It's really annoying. So I'm not even bothering going to install that one right now. I'm going to delete that, I don't need post CSS import either. So, but we want to use Solid App Router, which is the default Solid router thing, and I want to import Firebase from the command line. I just want to see what version it installs. TypeScript is fine, VT is fine, VT plugin solid, and so staging. So that's fine. So basically, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just copy that environment file over from the other project for staging, and then I'm going to go and like find the Firebase settings on the project for real. So I'll paste that in like this. Star web app. Set up Firebase hosting for this app. I think it's already set up, is it not? Like we already did that. So like, I don't know why we'd have to do that again. Don't know. Set up register app. So basically this is what we want for our configuration. Okay, so let's just copy that in. So this is basically that one. Okay. So we just paste it in here, and then the boring task of doing this. Measurement ID, where's that? Okay, it's there. Right, and then basically I have a couple of extra ones for like VT emulate functions and VT emulate database. So that's basically something that I can turn on and off, and then the code can know whether or not to use like emulated stuff, like the emulated functions or the emulated database, because in the emulating functions there's sometimes like cloud endpoints that might need to go somewhere else. So that's basically what I did there. Okay. So basically now when we do mode staging and mode build staging, when we basically will have these settings in the project. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to modify the solid app so that it will log these to the console if it's read the environment variables incorrectly. So once the log the meta, and hopefully that will log it out. Undo. So now we can see that we have our settings there ready to go. Okay, so I think this is enough stream for tonight, friends. I'm gonna just commit this code. We've got a working. Oh, actually, I should deploy it, shouldn't I? So let me just try to deploy it first. So Firebase. I've forgotten the name of the script that I use for that now. So the root package JSON is deploy staging. So let's just get that one. So what this is basically CD is at the front end, runs the build, and okay, so Neutron Star is full lowercase. Okay, that makes sense. So it's gonna basically CD into front end. What the earth? Oh, sorry. What on earth? Why is it caching the old value? No, that's better. So it's going to CD in there, build the solid app, then it's going to push it, deploy it. Then hopefully we'll get the same settings on the live version. The staging version, but it looks like it's called live. Okay, so let's just see if that worked. You should see a nice solid app running here. It might take a few seconds to update. There we go, running solid on Firebase hosting with actual logged console settings. And that is enough for today. So So thanks very much, Orneb, for being in the stream. I might do another one sooner than next Tuesday night. But if you subscribe, anyone who's watching is subscribing, they'll basically be able to get notifications. So maybe I'll do one tomorrow night. But I can't promise it. So streaming's a bit new to me yet. I haven't really worked out my schedule. So that's what's all about. So maybe I'll do one tomorrow. Cool. So thanks very much for watching, guys. I really appreciate your time. I might download this video and actually I forgot to record it, didn't I? I forgot to record a video. Well. Well, I can make a summary of it, or I can figure out how to download it from Twitch. Can you download videos from Twitch? I can't remember. I don't know. Maybe I can. But if not, I'll basically make a summary of the video on the YouTube or something. Alright, well, thanks for watching, friends. I guess I should make a screenshot for like end of stream, but that's what it is. Cool. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.